Hello everybody, this is Robert with Deep Thought Cycle Blog, and Sunday, going from my morning camp to another location here. And which way are we gonna go? Am I going the wrong way? I am going the wrong way. Let's go the way Google wants to go here. 12-kilometer ride, so don't got a lot of time. We did this ride, I think, last Sunday, or a couple days ago. I guess it was last Sunday we rode here. The same route. So, how's everybody doing? Today, I'm gonna try to talk about a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff, moving and my wife, and unfortunately talk about Crystal a little bit. But anyway, so Sunday morning was a beautiful ride today. What a difference it is to ride on a Sunday morning with no traffic going to work. It really goes to show you how many people have moved out of the city because the housing is so expensive inside the city that I mean the traffic is bare. Like, huge difference. I don't normally blog going to work because I just been in a hurry, and if I'm blogging and talking, I'm kind of going fast. I'm kind of going faster when I'm going to work, you know what I mean? So I'm not really you know, I listen to some podcasts and stuff. When I go to work, I normally listen to the news, and I listen to a lot of different podcasts. We'll talk about one of those maybe if I get a chance. You know, at 30 frames per second, I get about an hour and a half out of my battery. I thought about getting another battery and a charger, but it's kind of a lot of money, right? And I don't know, you guys listen to me an hour and a half. It might be useful in the US to have two batteries, but hopefully I'll have the opportunity to charge. Got those Endura shorts that came in yesterday. The FS 260 Pro. Wow, man, they're the coolest shorts, bike shorts I've ever seen in my whole life. Even better than ones that I already sent. But I got the XL instead of the L, and I've lost so much weight they're a little bit big, so I'm hoping the guy will change them. And the pad's a little bit big, but it's just like crazy pad, you know what I mean? And padding, and I mean Endura is such great quality. We were watching Danny Macaskill in our class today for the kids during their summer camp, get them excited, and I happen to notice he's from Scotland, I guess, and he's wearing a lot of Endura stuff too. That's not why I bought it. I just thought it was high quality. But I guess Danny Macaskill being from Scotland, and Endura being from Scotland, I guess he's their sponsor. He's even got the same Endura socks on. How's that for a pitch, huh? It's not really, but oh, I smell popcorn. I eat a lot of popcorn, but anyway, so yesterday was my day off, and unfortunately my wife had depression. And she doesn't have depression that much. You know, it comes every couple months, like really bad. You know, I told you guys I got to do something about her health. She gets tired and exhausted, like passes out, like literally can't stay awake. And she was drinking coffee like water, and I said, man, you gotta stop doing that. That's really bad for your health. I mean, like down in cups to try to stay awake. And the medication she takes shouldn't make her drowsy, so I want to get her to a doctor. I'm worried about heart failure. They say heart failure causes people to sleep a lot because it causes your body, your heart, to stop sending blood to other places. I don't know. I read a little bit about it. I hope she's okay. But she had depression yesterday, and like sleeping all day and afternoon and evening. And I feel so terrible to see her like that. I know she doesn't like it herself. And I feel terrible to have to be leaving her, you know. But so while she was doing that, we got the pneumatic, the kids like the president bodyguard type walkie-talkie headset. And wow, man, it works so good for kids. They put a clip in the back and a clip on the front, push the button, talk to each other like the Secret Service people. Super cool deal. And they got their little shoulder bags so they could put their walkie-talkie in their bag, put some tissue in their bag, some wipes in their bag, hold an extra set of batteries. I got Bobby a secret belt thing to put his phone in and his money, because he's got to watch his brothers a little bit. So that's good for them to keep all the little stuff in so they don't lose it when we get on our travels, and so we can communicate with each other. And like I said, the super awesome thing is for autistic children that don't talk a lot, that have a problem with speech, it's a great thing to get them to try to talk to each other and try to communicate. I think every homeschool out there with autistic kids should go for you know, some walkie-talkies for their children for communication activities. It's awesome. So while my wife was resting all day and night, I went through and I got all of our clothes, every clothes we got, and dumped them in the middle of the floor in my living room. And I looked at the badum, and that represented so many years in China, and so much a big effort for me and the kids, my wife, to buy those clothes. I thought, okay, how am I gonna get these clothes to America, right? And I gotta go with the strategy of summer and winter. Now here the winters don't get as cold as they do where it snows, but also I learned about 25 years ago to stop using heat in the house when I was in Eastern Germany. You know, after the wall came down, and we'll go left, right? Sometime, and that was great time. I had such a great time in Germany. I mean, it was 19% unemployment. It's kind of tough, but it was such great friends in Germany. I love Broderode. I love the German people. I really love. Can't say it's good enough to all my friends out in Germany. Special spot forever in my heart. This guy says, no, don't ride your bike. Why he sits on the bus and kills the earth. Yeah, I don't know. I will ride my bike. Go ahead. So anyways, dumped all the clothes in, and I learned without having heat that dress in layers, like thermal underwear layers. And I think I told you guys, when you're riding a bike, there's different kind of underwear that wicks sweat. Now I'm not talking about some fancy bike clothes that advertise it. I just discovered naturally which kinds of the long underwear wick the sweat, and these were not made for biking at all, but they work very well. And yeah, so but that's not, I mean, it's not just about bike, it's about surviving the cold. And the strategy is have the thin layer of high-tech material. The bottom, you got a warmer layer on the top, got a wind blocker, less breathable. And you could dress smartly without thick clothes. But my strategy yesterday was I have to bring my clothes, my kids' clothes, for 3 kids, different sizes for the most part, summer and winter clothes, and I have to bring my work clothes. And here I am with my 2 bags getting full when I bring an extra set of clothes to go to work in my computer. So, oh my God, it's such a challenge. I laid out everything to try to get the best of the pants, the best of the shorts, the best of the warm clothes. Oh, I should be in the middle of the street, huh? The best of the warm clothes, the best of the, like 3 pair. I'm trying to prioritize everything. And then I'm trying to categorize into stuff that maybe I could put into a box and try to mail to us later. And then stuff we gotta throw away, but I'm actually gonna give to my friend who's from Cameroon, because they're having a civil war there and the people could really use the clothes there. So yeah, I'm trying to, so it's pretty tough. I mean, and for my kids, you know, they got these kind of pants that the legs come off, and their shorts and their pants at the same time. So I went through yesterday Decathlon, which is a sports store, and oh man, I just searched for Decathlon secondhand. It took hours. They have thousands of things that go up like 1 yen increments. And I looked at every single secondhand piece of clothing for my kids to try to find the lightest, durable, packable secondhand clothing I could find, because it's just so much cheaper. There's no way I could clothe my children and myself in America in the foreseeable future like I can before I get there. But the space is really tight, right? So like bulky, thick linen pants are out, you know, and a lot of this we're using is synthetic materials because it packs smaller. And it sure is a challenge, you know, to get the proper thing. And so I got it halfway shoved underneath my work desks. I'm in the middle of doing it. It's by no means done, but it's pretty scary to have to do this kind of stuff. I still haven't raised enough funds yet, but I'm working on it. I'll work harder, and I think I told you I'm going to put a 203 on the back. I saw some people did it, maybe put two adapters together. So I'm putting the 203 on the back, I mean, it makes your rotor, it makes your brake pads last longer, having a large diameter. Stops better. Carrying trailers and stuff, always carrying a lot of gear in the back. So I got the rotor delivered today. I don't know if the adapter's going to be there by the time I get home. I'm going to try to throw that on. Hope the guy will exchange my shorts. Try to selectively pack. But you know, I keep wanting to talk to you guys about autism and being autistic, especially since I found that talk show where they talk about Asperger's on a Player FM, or I think that's what it's called. And I think it's fantastic to hear about it. But one of the things about autism, and I didn't know about autism because like when I was a kid, they didn't have autism, but I had autism. For my generation, you have to even question it. I mean, autism was the thing, you just had weird kids, right? For me, buying materials to go there, how tedious it is, the planning and the organizing is the kind of thing that I became so fixated in, because autistically that's something that I do. Like, whether you're like 9 or 10 years old and reading every single Stephen King book, making sure you read in the back of the paperback the list and checking off every goddamn book, are reading every single page in the newspaper and the one ads, are going through baseball cards with the Beckett manual and sorting them by number and year and every other imaginable way that you could sort things. That was me, right? Yeah, I got stories, we'll talk about that later, but organizing clothes and buying clothes and making sure you're prepared for every kind of possibility. When people say don't overthink that, man, you guys don't know how autism works, man. So as I'm older now, I keep it in check more. We'll talk about this later on. But right now I'm going through a huge list autistically of preparing to go to the US. And yeah, it keeps me so focused and so fixated on all these things I have to do that it kind of keeps me blind to what's unfolding. I mean, when I wake up, I get more sensitive in the mornings, more emotional, and today I woke up and, you know, when my wife is bipolar and has depression, it's easy to get angry with her, but not like when I was younger. Not like, oh my God, the end of the world. It took me a long time to get to know how depression and bipolar works, and it wasn't easy. I'm much more adaptable right now than when I was younger. So I'm not angry with my wife, but it's kind of a tough thing when she's doing her bipolar depression stuff. But the next morning I tell my wife, I say, look it, you know what? I'm so busy. My wife's there, give me a tea or something little. To show her love. I realized that eventually I'm gonna be in the US with my kids, and the thing that I love the most important thing to me is not gonna be there. My wife's gonna be gone, and I will be completely alone. And oh man, you know, when we were younger and first got together, occasionally she, especially before she got on lithium, she would once a year get unstable and maybe run to her mom's house. And oh, that would drive me crazy. Being alone with Quataqua, my other kids, and my autism was like, oh my God, you have to come back. And I call her every day, and the countryside, they're like, man, is this guy crazy? Most Chinese guys be happy when their life leaves. They would party and shit. But not me. I was like all flipping out about it. I couldn't maintain. I'd get drunk and drink more. I couldn't focus. And you know, I lived on my own since I was like 14. And you know, I realized looking back, we're gonna talk about autism later. I don't want to focus on that right now. I'll tell you about that stuff later on in the second half of the show after this class. We'll try to talk about that. Well, I lived alone since I was 14, and I've forgotten, you know, and I heard on this podcast, a lot of people with Asperger's, they don't like to be alone. I don't know, man. But I hugged my wife this morning, and like, I could be as strong as I need to be when my wife is there. Like right now, I'm going out to work, and the kids are home with my wife, and I'm going out to take care of them. And I could be busy all day long and not have time for my wife or my kids, but they're there. I mean, when I get home, I know they're there, right? So the feeling to know that coming up, I'm gonna be there with the boys, and I'm gonna be there without my wife, it's just like I'm older now, and I'm more mature. I've got a lot better control of my autistic tendencies. But I hope that you know, I could lose weight, and I could get all the right gear and all the right equipment. But psychologically, how am I gonna cope with being without it? You know, when my wife was more bipolar than she is now, like unmedicated, without therapy, even when she ran away a lot, like, oh man, it messed me up psychologically. And another thing is, my wife is always like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'm gonna be fine, I can do it, I can get a job. I said, no, stay with your mom's house, man. Don't go in the city. Don't get yourself in trouble, because we need you to immigrate and not have problems. When I go to the US, go work with your mom in the fields and stay out of trouble and stay busy. But you know, when she's tired and she has depression with me, she sleeps, I take care of everything, you know what I mean? And she's not a stranger. She's not with strangers. And her mom's really poor. And she says, oh, let me try to get money from my mother to help you and the kids. I said, oh no, you can't do that, man. If I leave you in the countryside with them and we owe them money, I don't know when I can pay them back. They're gonna abuse you so bad. And my wife doesn't know what it means to borrow money. She doesn't understand the concept of paying people back, and because she's lived with me. We've been together for a long time, since she was 20, and she's been like unstable a little bit, but she missed out on a lot of experiences, and she doesn't understand, even though she's Chinese. She's missed out on the whole Chinese experience a little bit, and she's adapted a little bit to my rationale, but she doesn't realize it. She does realize it. They treat Chinese people a lot different than they treat foreigners, and a lot of her Chinese friends say, well, she doesn't have a lot of friends, but they say she's turning more foreigner than Chinese, right? Which, it's not true, but you know, I know she can't understand the hardships that I've kept her sheltered from so many years. You know, I'm not trying to talk big about myself, but I mean, that's a fact. Like, I've really kept her sheltered, and I don't want China to break her down and to spit her out. So that's in the back of my head, huh? Yeah, working on it. So I ordered the kids some clothes, and I'm gonna try to get their social security cards. I asked my mom if I can mail them to her, and she's like, oh man, no. I can't accept any mail for other people. She thought I was trying to scam her or something. That's how a lot of Americans react, like when I talk to them, like everything's a scam or something. I've never scammed anybody. I hate when people treat me like that, you know, and your own grandkids just get a letter, you know. So anyways, I'm trying to work that out. We'll get that going. And I took a look on Google Maps and I watched some YouTube a little bit about I-80 and the highway in Nevada to try to get an idea of what it'd be like to ride a bike there. And then I found out, I did a search on Google Maps, and they kind of got a dirt roadway. Now it's about 44 kilometers from Reno, or about 39 kilometers from Sparks. Now I'm getting in better shape. That's pretty far. I mean, that job I used to have on Saturday nights, if you guys remember, I'd ride back from that far place in Bayonne. That was about the same distance. It could take an hour and 40 minutes in heavy traffic, you know, to go 38 kilometers. I could do that distance. I'm happy to say. Now, thing is, it looks like it's dirt roads. My other rims are thicker or wider than these rims, but I've only got 700 by 400s tires, but I know they sell. I can't afford to really buy new tires right now. I read people use these tires in gravel bikes or something. I hope these tires will work off-road because they're the Tour version. They got a little bit more tread. I don't know how the conditions are. And the thing is I don't know how I could practice riding. Normally when I get new jobs, new contracts, I practice going there. When I got all my boys in daycare, how am I gonna have time to practice that route, you know? So, I mean, I'll find a way. But I'm glad that there's a non-highway route for most of the way there. A little bit of highway riding. I'm scared about driving in America. Scared about the traffic there. But I'll be ready. Try to bring enough work clothes to dress proper for any jobs, and hopefully mail a package. It's pretty scary how close we're getting. I don't hope I can waste money. I thought about trading in my wheel set, my other wheel set, for a Rollhoff. I saw advertised for 4,500 yen. Trade it in or try to sell it to try to raise money. I might try to sell our washing machine or dryer and our dishwasher and to try to raise money. I was gonna let my wife take that to her mother's house. Well, I guess I'll try to sell everything we have to raise funds to get to the US. Just like the people in the stagecoach, I guess. Now, unfortunately, I gotta come to this topic again. This morning I was at the class and I saw my Facebook go crazy. And Crystal took a lot of different aliases and started to write really nasty, vile things on my Facebook wall. I don't know why they call it a wall, but telling everybody I abused my wife, that I'm a child molesting monster. Crystal, what do you talk like that, man? What do you get from that? Do you know I'm a teacher, Crystal? Do you know I teach kids? Like, people trust me with their kids for years, and do you know how much work I do that I don't really get paid for here? To help people's kids and parents. You know, I love children, man, and I just don't understand, because I'm sure you're listening really carefully. You know how much I care for my wife when other people would have left their wives a long time ago, man. You know what we've been through together, Crystal? You seriously accuse me of abusing my wife and my kids, man? You want to mock that my oldest son is in foster care? Crystal, if I wasn't with my wife, she'd be dead right now. People would have killed her in China. You have no idea the things I've gone through. My youngest son, when they wanted to forcibly terminate him in abortion, I mean, here in China, being a teacher is kind of a respected thing, you know. Nobody would ever say, I mean, they know I'm poor because I'm a teacher, right? I mean, I'm so shocked, Crystal. I know you're listening, right? So I'm so shocked to hear your attacks, man. I'm sorry, lady. No, I don't even talk to that many foreign women hardly at all, so it's a little bit awkward for me. You know, growing up being autistic, man, I had met people like you, Crystal, that bullies and mean and hateful and just try to hurt you and stuff. And well, you know, I haven't experienced something like that for a long time. And to hear you coming out and saying those things on my Facebook to people I know and threaten me again to call this and that and the police and put me in jail and prison, and man, you know, you took our message. I wrote Crystal some messages. I try to be nice to her. I try to say, just like right now actually, I try to talk to Crystal and find out what's up. I try to say, hey, you know, sorry if your life is bad, and you know, I generally have an open heart with people. Being autistic, you're not really good at, you're kind of direct a little bit. Sometimes I'm too direct. But I was just like talking to her. I'm like, hey, you know, Crystal, you could share the screenshot. You know, she actually, with some of her aliases that she made, she shared the screenshot of her Facebook Messenger in which I've written her, you know, what's going on? It's not like you have it pretty rough. You're attacking me, and it's just a terrible way to act like that, you know. And I told Crystal, I said, look, you know, you could talk to me if you want to be a friend, or if somebody makes you feel uncomfortable, you feel better to be abusive to other people, you know. That's not the right way to be. I said, you could talk, since you watch my videos so carefully, try talking to me friendly. Maybe that's what you need more than it being an abuser, you know. And you don't got to be a bully. That's not the right way. Well, she shared me those chat messages, called me a creep and crazy. Look, I waste too much time because I'm autistic a little bit to try to talk to people sometimes. So I try to talk to her, and you know, what do you want me to say, Crystal? If you don't like, if you don't like the messages that I sent you, I mean, okay. I was just trying to like be friendly to you and find out what it is you get all your hatred for. You know, your scathing attacks, telling everybody around me that, I mean, you want to tell people I'm a child abuser, Crystal? Is that right? Do you really think in your heart that that's what I am? I would never hurt a child. I don't hurt my own children. I don't abuse my wife. I've gotten a lot of abuse from her, but I don't blame her for it. But let me turn this around here. Ah, here we are again. So I blocked all your aliases and stuff, and I was shocked. You know, I thought after my last message, I thought that you would be cool and stuff. What do you want? What do you want to attack me for and tell me that I'm abusing my kids? My kids are at home. My kids have autism, and they love me very much, and I love them very much. And my wife is also sick. She's like a patient. I'm like her guardian here, Crystal. I don't abuse her. I don't abuse my kids. I don't abuse anybody's kids. I like to put my stuff on public, but I got to put it private for friends only because of your harassment. What do you want? Is this your daily? I mean, you spend so much time to create those accounts, and then to write that on my Facebook. Why? What is in my life, in my everyday life, that you want to jump in and try to hurt me? Is it because you see me with my family and like you had a hard time with your family or something? Did you go through it? Man, I know what it is to have a hard time with families. I've been through that road, you know. And is it because I'm really different how I live here or something? I get people that don't like that sometimes. Look, if you don't like me or my kids or my wife, or you want to, you know, go find a hobby, man. I mean, if people are bothering you in your life, you know, and you don't feel comfortable, you know, go ride a bike, go get some exercise, you know. And you know, because you're trying to attack me. I'm going to teach some little kids right now, you know that? And I've given almost 20 years of my life to teaching kids and other people. Not a lot of money like what you got, like what you told me, and your fiance. You know, it's just, you know, and I go with my kids, and you know what I get? I get to hug them, and my wife, and I miss them, and I love them, and it's not a lot else more than I got. You know, I'm getting ready to leave my wife and go with my kids, and it's scary, and it's real hard. I'm doing the best I can, and I don't have anything to hide. You can call Child Protection Services because I'm poor, because I'm going to America as a poor person. I don't think being poor is a crime. And you want to quote me out of context, say that I beat my wife? Come and have an interview with her, talk to her, man. You know, sinners. I mean, look at the way you're. You know, look at the way you're talking. I mean, that kind of, to write that kind of vile stuff on somebody's wall is child molester. What a terrible thing to molest children. You know, you really think that that's who I am? Talk to some people in China that know me, man. Quote, take my quotations from being with somebody bipolar. I don't beat my wife, okay, and I don't beat my kids, and I don't abuse my kids, and whatever. I just do the best I can every day. And you put some stuff on your Instagram about how Mexican parents beat their kids compared to white parents. That was like one of the memes that you used, right? I don't know, man. I'm not into following you and your posts and trying to psychoanalyze you and quote things from your history and all this stuff, what you're doing. I'm always surprised if people watch, you know, I'm going to talk about autism later. You know, deep thoughts, it's part of being autistic, you know. It's like, so I put this on a video, you know, and you don't have to watch it, right? I'm not like making $1 million here on YouTube, right? It's just me, and you know, Crystal, I have fucked up things in my life, man, and all the things that you're hitting on, it's not the right thing. You want to call me out for fucking up things, you can maybe call me out for losing my, yeah, you keep saying I had a green card. Yeah, my German wife was sponsored. My grandparents sponsored her a long time ago, and when they did that, I didn't even understand what that meant. They helped me sign some papers. I really didn't understand, because we weren't staying in the U.S. for a long time. We went back to Germany, and so she was sponsored for a green card, and she got it, and we went back and never came to the U.S. I don't know why you keep bringing that up. I don't know. You pay so good attention to that and you bring up that detail. My grandmother died, and my grandfather's about 91, and he's a great guy, and they don't have a lot of savings, and it hurt my heart, but I asked him if he could help me, but he can't help me, and I can't ask him. It's a tough thing to ask somebody to sponsor somebody. I know you could do that with your family, but I don't have any family to ask that. I was on my own since I was like 14, right? So whatever, you know, if you want to ever relate to having a hard childhood, you know, write me a message. You don't have to attack me. In fact, you could stop being a bully right now, and I'm not going to shame you for it. I'm not going to say, hey, you know, fuck this bitch and blah, blah, blah. I'm open to anybody, because live and let live, and live and forget, and life is short, and there's a lot of challenges, man. And what do you get from what you're doing, right? I mean, I'm surprised, and it's like being in school again, like having a bully or something, right? Is that what you want to be? Is that, you feel good about being like that? You know, every day I wake up with a pain in my heart for my children and my wife. You know, like, really, you want to try to make some kind of false? It hurts my feelings to even say that I abuse children or abuse my wife or something. That's crazy. Okay, so anyways, I go to my class, everybody, and we were 44 minutes. So after the video, I'll make a video going home, and we'll do some talking and stuff, some deep thoughts, and that's all I gotta say. Crystal, why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Right? I mean, look, and that's just the kind of person I am. And everything I said in this video to Crystal, I put in like in her messenger, and she said I'm creepy. I don't know what you call it. Maybe it's autism. I don't know. It's just what it is, right? So anyways, I gotta run. It's a beautiful day. I'm getting some sun a little bit, and gotta lose some weight, right? Down to 140 pounds. I feel like I'm Conor McGregor again, going to another weight class or something. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys soon. Bye bye.